Once you, for both, once you land at Twin, how quick are you in the ER? Once you land at Sierra, when are you in the ER?
So Twin, we're probably in the ER in about 4 minutes, I guess. 4 to 5 minutes, pretty quick. Sierra, they've done different things. They've brought a van for us. I kid puking back there in back of this van because we're going spiraling down the parking structure. You know, I'm like, oh no, I should have brought my suction with me. It's full C-spine. So and then most recently, I've done 2, and we get the gurney brought to us, and we hop in the elevator, go down across the road there. I bet that's probably maybe 7 minutes.
I was gonna say it's a minimum of 8 to 10.
Yeah.
From the time you guys are spooled down.
Kind of funny to us. We're used to, we go to Santa Clara Valley or we go to Fresno. They know you're bringing traditionally something critical, so they send out some manpower, and we get to Sierra and we got security guard.
And then you wait for a bed.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think those are all great points. You know, what exactly, because there's always this. And it's a point we used to argue our application of the system is that our aircraft flies at 130 miles an hour, roughly the same as a CalStar or any air ambulance. So we all feel that's what we bring to the table. But you're right, a good point is, yeah, but how long is it for this? How long is it for that? Can my bus pull right up to the front door? Yeah, it can. And I'm in there and we're getting taken care of. So I'd be curious with that baby. That other units, I don't know what time they departed, but I pretty certain we got there right after. So I'm not sure what those times will be for that.
Is that something that we can have? I know there was always the old algorithm that you could follow for making.
And that's what we're working on is getting because that's coming up more and more, is that time factor isn't being factored in on any side. And so, yeah, Sierra, you when they get the alert that you guys are coming, they have to send the security guard to shut the parking garage. So it's all of those factors depending on what time it is, that kind of thing. And so that's one of the things that we're trying to find a time average, so then we can add that into the algorithm and that matrix that we have that shows here's flight times and then here's additional time that you have to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, there's always going to be those things that fall outside of the normal parameters and all of that. And again, the questions that are asked of people it's just the thought process, like, just tell me your justification. And I do feel like we're a new, better EMSA in the sense of it's not punitive, and it really is more about less about us asking the questions and more about us being able to justify the system to outside external people asking.
Yeah, ironically, I think the resolve to the time lost coming down the elevator,
right,
parking out in Twin's pad there,
right,
is the resolve is a pre-alert, going out on an auto launch,
right,
because we can beat the ambulance to almost
because you know where you're going to go,
any location,
right.
But if it's hindsight, like that 41 in Clark, it sounded like I don't know, grand what do they call them, grand jury or whatever is investigating.
Yeah, yes,
and an aircraft was requested, canceled, started, stopped.
Right.
We get one call, hey, it's got a crash out here. I get there, complete C-spine, 2 darts, got all this stuff going on. I'm like, wow, how long you been here?
Yeah.
We're barely, it took us about 7 minutes to get there. So in hindsight, we're kind of getting ridiculed about it. So I just think that will probably be the result to our system's problem.
It's a high visibility. It is. The grand jury's looked at our helicopter system twice and does a report. So again, it's more about being able to justify things to external processes when we're getting questions.
I think one of the biggest helpers would be a common communication system, because H70 is on Med 1, but other aircraft are not necessarily on Med 1 and not doing that, and that creates a huge difficulty with judging times, because you're not in communication, you can't reach them, MedCom can't reach them, and so all of your transporting entities aren't able to talk.
The cool part is you can't get canceled if you're not on the right channel. Sorry guys, I'm here now, what do you need?
But I think that's something that is a definite solution, and unfortunately it's from some people down in the south, it's difficult that I watched an aircraft lift off the dunes, take off, they're over the refinery before they came up and said that they had lifted and are gone. And it's like, good, thanks. We were going for 5 minutes watching you fly away instead of doing what you're supposed to do or communicating to us on the way in what's going on. And I think that's something that's really key as we look
that
forward.
exact thing is getting worked on.
Yeah, that would be something that's helpful, whereas H70 has always been great about, we're up on the air as soon as you got the channel. You guys usually monitor Med 1 all the time in your county.
It's our patrol, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I was going to say, one of the big differences that I appreciate with you guys is there's a level of integrity that when we hear this is your ETA, that's pretty much your ETA. And if
That's
the
one
issue
thing I
needs it,
really
then-
enjoyed about the Highway Patrol. A lot of people, especially anybody who's had a citation before, they don't really like it. We're all monsters. We're out trying to make money. I love telling them we are not motivated by money. We sign or write trillions of tickets a year, and we don't take any of the money. It all goes to the county, and I love it. We're not motivated to transport somebody. If it's not right, it's not right. Our boss doesn't go, hey, you guys only had 30 medevacs for the year. What's going on? They weren't there, or they were, or whatever the situation is. And that's one thing I really enjoy about the Highway Patrol. Our unit, if we can help somebody, great. They love it. They love stats. We assisted whoever in doing whatever. But there's never any ridicule for like, hey, where's the business? Why are we not this? And to me, for those guys, whether they like it or not, they're about generating money. Because they spend all of it each year, doesn't mean too much to me, nonprofit. What does it mean? It means you have that at the end of the year. It's like, okay.
They got a bunch of nice new helicopters.
Yeah. I don't have any of my paycheck at the end of the year. I'm nonprofit technically. But no questions? Any calls you guys want to review, or any areas you think we can improve on?
Well, I have a question. How do you guys make the decision in terms of when you say for an access point, someone will just say with a benign injury, but there's a poor access point.
Okay.
What's your process of, you know what, this is just, it's going to take way too long and not as safe for us to extract, land, transfer, ground, or extract, pull up, and go?
So a lot of times we're going to base it on, obviously we take into consideration the system. If we're going to be unavailable for no good reason, we had, funny, John just had one in the riverbed, and he says he can see Twin.
Right.
Twin's over there, the bus is over here, and he's like, okay, I'm going to go to Twin. I did one off of that lady off of Cerro Alto. Same kind of deal. I was like, man, I could be to Twin before we can even land in an LZ down there. So a lot of times it's that. The off-site landing for us, it's hazardous, whether you like it or not, unless it's this huge ball field, without the extra lighting and stuff. So that's kind of something, it's almost call by call. We're going, there's Sierra, or, that external load stuff. If we are up on Bishops, maybe we do go straight to Sierra Vista, so it's kind of tough. Or the sand spit. We got the guy fell off the horse crushed him. I was like, I'll just take him. I'll be gone before the guys can even get to the LZ there. So we factor in where are they going to land us? What process is it going to take to be able to land off site? Most of you know April from CalSTAR. She's talking about landing on a scene call in Kern County and they get browned out. And so that happens, you're landing and just a bunch of dust comes and the pilot can't see what they're seeing anymore. So the safety way is just to fly and do it again. So she said they come in for the second time, it happens again. Fires wet down the ground there, which normally takes care of the dust. And they actually hit the aircraft on the ground and need to ground the thing. She's like, I couldn't believe what just happened. This aircraft is out of control essentially because it hit the ground because the pilot wasn't able to see what he needed to see. So we'll reserve that. We'll go, hey, how safe is it to re-land? Fires there, they're watered down. We land all the time without those guys. So, like I say, it's just a totality of something. And I think that if we confer, hey, I'm the only bus available right now, we would also factor that in, So I like to say that we're approachable and we can come to a conclusion together. But sometimes we're just like, hey, for safety, this is what we're doing. And then get questioned about why we did it, then we go, that's safety. It's funny, for us as a crew, if we don't agree to do something, there's nothing we have to do for anybody. The vice president comes to town, we don't have to do work for that guy. If we don't feel safe, it's great. It's a great place to be. We're in our ambulance, our helicopter, and we get to make the decisions, no matter what rank we talk to or what people try to demand of us.
And it's weird that Bishop's Peak thing, because the way the winds usually are in San Luis, we'll do the hoist, and then we got to turn around to get our nose into the wind to land at that spot where we usually do. And we're almost right over Sierra, making that loop to come back in and land on our final. So it's like, this guy's hurting bad or critical, like Scott's saying, we could just pull him in the aircraft, and like as I'm getting set up to get back in the forward flight from the hoist, we could have the guy in, and instead of spending that time and doing a pattern back down to our offsite, we could just loop it, the same thing right onto Sierra. So that came up, you know, when that pad first opened, you know, there was rumors out there that we were hanging people. I don't know, there's another helicopter company around that starts these things, I think, but like 100 feet from the bottom of the helicopter on a rope, and we're gonna fly into the hospital, and it's like, no.
Get them right
We
into the
actually do have the ability to take that external load, go long ways, and bring them into the aircraft.
Okay, that was my question.
We don't
So
always do it though, because it's a lot of times it's easier for us. We just go onto the skid step, we tie into the load so it's pulled into the aircraft, and then their safety is the cable itself. So we do have the ability to rotate them and bring them in the aircraft. But traditionally we don't, because it's just as safe for us to set them on the skid step, tie in, and then the pilot will just take it nice and easy, get us to where we're going. Well, like Dave says, at Bishop's Peak, if we orbit around and go right over Sierra to go back and do an offsite landing over there, doesn't make sense.
what about, I mean, yeah, why would you?
And the last one we went to, they're talking about, we don't have permission. We don't have permission to be there. The landowners, you know, there's different relationships over there, and we're like, you know, we'll land wherever we want, so.
What about Madonna?
Madonna,
Would you, if you extracted someone from the summit?
Yeah.
If it was right, you know, we joke about Madonna because the guys drive up there, you know.
Right.
Like, why are we wasting it? We're actually pretty conservative as far as that goes. They got Santa Barbara has a unit. They're kind of fire and their SO search and rescue team. They kind of butt heads, you know, and they tell a story. The guys are hoisting a bunch of Cub Scouts down there,